Hi, my name is Azanni bin Mohd.
And I, Muhammad Sultadi bin Zaludin.
Today our topic is about Google Drive and what is Google Drive, any function and its features. Okay, what is Google Drive?
Okay, Google Drive is a file storage and synchronous service created by Google. This allows users to store files in cloud, share file, edit file, spreadsheet, and presentation with a collaborator. Google Drive encompasses Google Docs, Sheet, Slide, also Office Suite that permit collaborative editing of document, spreadsheet, presentation, drawing, form, and more. Google Drive was launched on 24 April 2012 and had 240 million monthly active users as of October 2014. To know the storage, Adib can explain how much you can upload your document in Google Drive. So Adib?
Okay, in Google Drive, the storage offered by Google is Google offer all users an initial 15 gigs of online storage space that is shared across three of its most used services, which is Google Drive, Gmail, Google Plus Photo, known as Picasa. Okay, user can upgrade their free 15 gigs account through a paid monthly subscription plan to get additional storage. Okay. Document using Google Doc native format include Gdocs, Gslide, and Gsheet. Do not count towards this quota in Google Plus Photo. Photo of resolution less than 2048 times 2048 pixels and video shorter than 15 minutes also do not count towards this quota. Upload a file in Microsoft Office and open document format with possible formatting change can be converted to Google proprietary format and thus can be stored without counting against the storage quota. Okay, as of 13 March 2014, last year, storage plans offered by Google charge exclusively in US dollars so that any customer outside the US will need to pay exchange charge. Okay, the storage the Google provide for Google Drive rate is for the 15 gig as you can know is free. Okay, for the 100 gig is $1.99 per month, and for the 1 terabyte is 9.9 per month, and 10 terabyte is 99.99 per month. Okay, Google's offer 30 gigs of drive storage for all Google Apps users. Okay, and unlimited storage for those use the Google Drive for work, education, as long as they are less than 5 members. Association with less than 5 members will get 1 terabyte per user. Okay. The free additional storage is offered on the purchase of selected Android versions device from Motorola, HTC consistent device, and Chromebook. Okay. By default, storage purchase automatically will set to renew at the end of the subscription. If the auto renewal fails, a 7 days grace period is offered for users to update their payment information when the storage plan expired is cancelled. Okay, storage limit is set back to the free level, which is 15 gigs. User can still access all their contents in the Google Drive, but not able to add anything new over the storage limit. Okay. At any point during the subscription, user can upgrade to a larger storage plan, but can downgrade to a smaller plan only if they are under the 15 gig prelimits. Okay, this implies that instead of technically changing the plans, Google first cancel the existing plan and then applies to the newer one. Okay, for the features, my partner here will explain to you more about the features in the Google Drive. Okay.
Okay, for the feature for Google Drive, first, sharing. Google Drive incorporates a system of file sharing in which a creator of the file and folder. The owner has the ability to regulate the public visibility of the file and folder. Ownership is transferable. File or folder can be shared privately with a particular user have the Google account using their @gmail.com email address. Sharing file with user not have a Google account required making their accessibility to anybody with the link. This generate a secret URL for the file which may be shared via email, blog and so on. File and folder can also be made public on the web, which means that they can be indexed by search engine and those can be found and accessed by anyone. The owner may also set an access level for regulating permission. The three access levels are can edit, can comment, and can view. User which editing access can invite others to editing. Second, third-party apps. There are a number of external web applications that work with Google Drive. These apps are available from the Chrome web storage and the compatible with all support browsers. To use an app, users are required to sign in into Chrome Web Store and compatible with sign in into Chrome Web Storage and add the application. Some of those apps are first party, such as Google Docs, Sheet, and Slide. Drive apps operate on the online file and can be used to view, edit, and create file in variation format. Edit image and video, file and sign document, manage project, create flowchart and so on. Drive apps can also be made difficult for handling file formats supported by them. Some of the apps also work offline, although only on the Google Chrome and Google OS. All of the third-party apps are free to install. However, some have the fees associated with the continued use or access to additional features. Most driver apps has the permission to access user file outside of the Google Drive. Saving data from a third-party app to Google Drive requires authorization the first time. The Google Drive SDK work together, which the Google Drive UI and the Chrome Web Store to create an ecosystem of apps can be installed into Google Drive. In February 2013, the create menu in Google Drive was revamped to include third-party apps, total effectively letting them the same status as Google's own app. On March 19, 2013, Google released an API for Google Drive that enables third-party develop to building collaborative apps that support real-time editing. To other features Google Drive, Adib explain to other features Google Drive.
Okay. In the Google Drive, the file viewing is format is image file. Most of you know it is JPEG, PNG, GIF, and for the audio format is MP3, MPEG, WAV. Okay. For the documentation and for the presentation, user can use file type, which is Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and others Microsoft. Okay. The most interesting is you can view your file with the format of Adobe Illustrator, Adobe Photoshop, and more. Okay. File in the other format can also be handled through third-party apps that work with Google Drive. Available from the Chrome Web Store, the Google Drive app for Android and iOS can be used other apps installed on the device to open unsupported file types. Okay, for the file limit, file uploaded but not converted to Google Doc format may be up to 5 terabytes in size. Created or upload file larger than 5 terabytes cannot be viewed within Google Drive. Okay, embedded image must not exceed than 2 megabytes each. Okay, there are also limits specific to file type, which is document. Document, regardless of the numbers of page or font size uploaded, document files that converted to Google Doc format cannot be larger than 50 megabytes. Okay, for the spreadsheet, all the limit on the spreadsheet have been removed in the newer version of Google Sheet. In the other version, there could have been a maximum of 256 columns per sheet and 200 sheets per workbook. Okay, with 400,000 cells in all. Okay, for the presentation created in Google Slides can be up to 100 megabytes, which is mostly 100 megabytes, about 400 slides. Okay, uploaded presentation that are converted into Google Slides can be format can be up to 50 megabytes. Okay, for the search result in the Google Drive, you can use use the what we call you can search result can be narrowed by file type, ownership, visibility, and the open with application. Google Drive supported Boolean operators. Okay. For the next about Google Drive, Hadi will explain to you.
Okay. For Google Drive has the accessibility. On 25 June 2014, Google announced a number of updates Google Drive, which include making the service more accessibility to visual impaired users. This include improved keyboard accessibility, support for zooming and high contact mode, and better compatibility with screen reader. Additionally, the Google Drive web interface supports keyboard shortcut. Okay, to make that clear, we show the some video how Google Drive is used in smartphone and iPhone.
Okay.
Google Drive is the search giant's new cloud-based storage service that kind of competes with Dropbox and SkyDrive from Microsoft and a couple of other services that are already available. And it really is just kind of like a extension of the already existing Google Docs service. Now, associated with this new Google Drive service is the new Google Drive app for Android smartphones. And really, it's just, like I said, an extension of the existing Google Docs app. In fact, if you have Google Docs already installed on your Android phone, Google Drive is just an update for that, which then converts it to the Google Drive service. Now, with Google Drive, you can store various things to Google servers, files, images, documents, etc. And then you can access them on any one of your devices. So here at the top of the app itself, you've got your choice for your accounts. You can search. You've got a menu option here, so you can access a few different settings, encryption and cache control, stuff like that. And then you've got a listing for your My Drive, which would be your documents that you have on your account, files that are shared with you, starred files, recent files, and then any offline files that you store to your phone itself. So if we take a look at our My Drive here, we got a couple of different documents in here. It's very similar to the Google Docs app that was available for Android prior to this, but you know, it's got slightly different icon, new branding, and things like that. You can create folders and access various documents within your folders. And then once you open a document, you can then view it. You can add collaborators if you'd like. And you can open it in web mode or send feedback. Now, opening it will also give you option to edit it right there on your device. And then it saves, and then it's available on your Google Drive account, regardless of what device that you're actually on. So we've got a demo spreadsheet here as well. So we've got documents, spreadsheets. See, the spreadsheet here actually opens more or less the web view, whereas the document opened a native editing view, which is a bit nicer. The spreadsheet's not exactly the friendliest to edit on a mobile device. And then there's also support for the various Google Docs files. You got presentations, so you got a little basic presentation here that you can play. And you've got some basic editing options there. If you take a look at shared files, so these are various shared files. Then starred files, so you can star your access files and access them quickly instead of navigating manually through. Recently accessed files, and then any, like I said, offline files that you store to your account. Now you can upload files that are added from your phone to your Google Docs account, so you can upload things like images. We'll just snap a quick image here. I'm using Android standard share function. We can select our Drive account, and then you have options for, you can change the title, you can convert it to a document file as you'd like. And then up here in the notification bar you can see it uploading to Google Docs. So that's a really quick overview of Google Docs for Android. It's really just, Google Drive for Android. It's really just an extension of Google Docs as we know it. Google says that it plans to add more features to Drive in the near term, but for right now you get about 5 gigabytes of online storage for free, and then you can purchase extended storage options if you need more actual capacity than what is offered with the 5 gigabytes. And Google says that a version of this app is coming to iOS in the near future. So there you go, a quick look at Google Drive for Android.
And I have the Google Drive app. If you don't have the app, you can go to the App Store, search for Google Drive, and go ahead and download it. Once you download the app and open it up, it's going to ask you to sign into your Google account. So if you are using Google Docs on your computer, you're just going to go ahead and sign in with the same account that you use for Google Drive on your computer. So I have an account that I'm going to use for test. It's admin@ansonalex.com. And I'm just going to cut here in a second to when I've already entered my password. Okay, so I've got my password entered. I'm just going to go ahead and hit sign in. And it's going to sign into my Google Drive. Now, I want to note right off the bat here that the only documents you can actually create and edit on iOS are your normal documents and your spreadsheets. So you can see, having logged into Google Drive, I now have a list of all my documents. I've got these test documents I've created, a spreadsheet, and then two regular documents and then a smart sheet. If you watched my video tutorial on third-party apps in Google Drive, you would have seen when I created that document. So you can see this icon up here at the top left, the folder icon, lets us know that we're looking currently at my drive. If we go ahead and click on the icon below that, that is going to be all of our shared documents. We've got all of our starred documents by clicking on the starred symbol. If we click on the clock symbol, it shows us our most recent documents. And then down here at the bottom, if you click on the pin, you can look at any files that we might have available offline if you're using Google Drive offline. And then the last icon is where we can go ahead and upload all of the files that we'd like to store in Google Drive. I'm going to go back to the Google Drive main folder here. I just wanted to show you a little bit of that sidebar. I also want you to notice that over here to the right, there's this plus symbol, which is you're going to be using a lot if you're using Google Drive on your iOS-enabled device. This is where you can create a new document. So you can see I could create a brand new, just regular word processing document, a spreadsheet document. I could also create a folder, or I could upload photos and videos from here. I could also use the camera, the iSight camera on my iPad to shoot a video right now, which I don't need to do because I'm already recording with my iPhone back here. Anyways, so that's how you can create a new document. Let's just go ahead and create one so you can see what it looks like. I'm just going to click New Document. You'll notice that it pops up. We can name our document whatever we'd like, so we'll call this Tutorial Test. You can just go ahead and give it a name, go ahead and hit Create, and then it's going to open that document up on my iPad or your iPhone or iPod Touch, whatever you're using. You'll notice that it looks somewhat similar to what it would look like online. You don't have the toolbar quite that you have in a desktop, but we've got up here, we've got our fonts menu, our bold, italics, underline, we've got our alignment, bulleted lists, our margin, so we've got a lot of options. We can also chat on this document and see who else is viewing it, just like we can online. If I want to edit, I can just start typing here in my document. You can see I've typed that sentence. If I want to take a look at what this document would look like, if I were to say print it, I can hit the checkbox here. And it's going to take away some of the toolbars and stuff so I can just see a view of this document. And then if I go ahead and click view again, it's going to make it in even more print view. So you can see I'm just viewing this document. I can go ahead and X out of this, and it'll take me back to my drive. So if we go back into that document, I did that kind of quick there. When we're editing, all that sort of thing, we know that in Google Drive it's automatically saving. There's no save buttons. We don't ever have to worry about saving our document. When we want to go back to my drive, we can just click on the X at the top left, and it'll take us back into my drive. To create a spreadsheet, we could click the plus, go ahead and hit the spreadsheet button. We can also call this tutorial test spreadsheet. We'll go ahead and create that document. The first time you create a spreadsheet in Google Drive, it's going to give you a little bit of an overview of how the controls work, but it's pretty simple. To select a cell, we just click on it once. If we want to copy and paste, we could click on it again, and we get our copy, cut, clear menu. If I want to enter some information into that specific cell, I just double tap. It's very similar to on a computer, and we'll just say that this is text. So I could go ahead and I can enter some text right there. If I want to go ahead and do formulas here in the iOS version of Google Drive, I actually have to enter those formulas manually. So let's go ahead and put a couple numbers in here. I'm going to put 5 in this cell and 5 in this cell. So if I want this cell F10 to equal the sum of F8 plus F9, I'm just going to make sure I double tap in this cell. I'm going to go down here and I'm going to say equals, and then I actually may have to type F8 and then go find the plus key. We'll do plus F9 and then hit return. And we'll see we get our sum of 10. But you can't just do the click and select cells. At least I haven't been able to figure that out yet. But you can enter them manually. And then when we're done, we can hit the check mark and then go ahead and hit the X. It will take us back to Google Drive, and here we are with all of our other documents. You'll notice that at the bottom right corner of all our documents, it might be harder to see in this video, there's a little information icon. If we click on it, we can get a whole bunch more information about this document. We can share it from the screen. We could delete it. We could move it to a folder. We can star it, rename it. We can copy the link to this document to our clipboard so we could paste it in an email. And then you just see some other information when it was last modified and where it's currently located. So if I wanted to move it, I could quickly click the Move To button. And then I could go ahead and select the folder that I'd like to move it to. I only have one. It's the new folder. I'll go ahead and move it there. I'll say Move Here. And you'll notice that when I go to my new folder now up here at the top, we've got our tutorial test spreadsheet that we just moved.
Okay, we hope from the tutorial video can help you to sign in the Google Drive and enlighten you to use the application. You can implement it on your daily work or education.
Okay, we are also hope from the presentation and video can help you how to use the Google Drive. So thank you for watching.
Bye.